Hey everybody, welcome back. Audrey, the fit, fearless, and faithful mom, and welcome to Lent. All right, so this week is the first week of Lent. Happy Lent. It is one of the biggest times of the year, and it's so big that Cody is surfing through the kitchen right now. So it's awesome. That's how excited we are in our house. All right. So Lent is really a big time of year. It's a year of purification. It is what I consider kind of like the Super Bowl of our faith, right? It's a big time of year. We start off with Ash Wednesday, which is a huge deal. Time when we mark ourselves with the ashes from the palm branches that have been burned. We mark ourselves saying, from dust you came and from dust you shall return. Okay, so what's the significance of 40 days? Well, there's so many different numbers in the Bible. Like you have the number 7, which it means covenant, and it's I am swearing to you, I am promising. So 7 is covenant. Then you have 40, a whole bunch of times, right? You've got Noah. He was on the boat for 40 days, or it rained for 40 days and 40 nights, and then he was still on there for 150, right? And then you have Moses wandering through the desert for 40 years. He went up to Mount Sinai and was up there for 40 days. And then you have Jesus, who was wandering through the desert for 40. And you even have Elijah traveling for 40 days to Horeb. Am I saying that right? Are you seeing where I'm going with this, with the whole 40 days? 40 is a representation of trials. It is a time, tough times have happened in 40 days. It's a cleansing period that relates to baptism. So stemming from the 4th century, there are 3 different sources that we can look at for Lent. First, it became as an ancient Paschal fast that was really only for 2 days. And again, this was in the 4th century when it was a 2-day observance for Easter itself, like really going from Good Friday until Easter Sunday, and then it increased to the 40 days. Sacraments of initiation take place on Easter, which makes sense because throughout Easter, throughout the Lenten season, we are cleansing ourselves, we are purifying ourselves, which goes back to the whole baptism, right? And it's why the individuals who are taking part in RCIA, why it makes sense that they are welcomed into the church officially as members, as being part of the body of Christ as Catholics during Easter. Third source of this whole Lenten journey, sort of like the order of penitence, when people who have really fallen away from the church, when we're welcomed back home. I'm sure you have it in your church too, where we talk about, it's the, we'll leave the light on for you. Everyone's leaving the light on for you to come back home to Christ. Like, we're calling you back home. Like, you know, like if you've done something wrong, like it's okay. It's okay. We're focusing on Christ's passion for these 40 days, and it's beautiful because I'm going to keep saying like that we're humbling ourselves during this time, and we're really paying attention to the gospel readings. And actually, part of, so Kyler and I have done a video which we'll showcase soon about Mary, and I just thought about in Mass today, how we're going to start focusing on the Passion through Mary's eyes. And that goes along with the whole like series part of our church. So that's pretty cool. Connections being made. So what's the purpose of ashes? Well, again, it's the burning palm branches. It is us reflecting on where we have come from and where we're hoping to go back to. Turn away from sin and be faithful to the gospel. Whenever, you know, they make the sign of the cross on your head, that is what they say. And you know what's crazy to me is that like when we think about Christ's passion and we think about like these palm branches and whatnot, though it's after Ash Wednesday, obviously, but a week before Easter, like when we think about Palm Sunday and like where these ashes came from, it's always mind-boggling to me every Lenten season because like people were so excited about Christ and like putting the palm branches on the street so that, you know, he wasn't being carried through the streets on just like the dirt, but then he was brutally murdered a week later. And I guess that goes to show you how we as a society can tend to just follow along with others. And that, I think, is the whole purpose of Lent too. It's like, are we following, I don't know, are we following with society? What are we following? Are we following Christ, or are we following our own desires and kind of shrinking and slinking back into our own self instead of glorifying him, no matter how uncomfortable it may be? And so this Ash Wednesday, we also focus on recognizing the need to deepen our faith. And while it's great that everyone's like, oh, I'm going to give up like coffee and tea and dessert, and those are really hard for some people. Like it's a burden to, you know, get rid of those. But I think we also need to focus on things that can deepen our faith and help us to get closer to Christ during this holy season. So here are 5 different ways that we can get ready for Lent. Number 1. All right, so number 1 is fasting. And fasting is just limiting yourself on a certain food. So what are you going to limit yourself on with your eating? So maybe you don't give up coffee for the entire Lenten season. Maybe you don't give up tea or dessert the entire Lenten season. What if you got rid of it for only certain days that you really feel like you need it, like a Monday morning or something like that? Number 2 is abstinence. Abstinence is completely getting rid of something. So let's say like you abstain from eating breakfast on a Tuesday, or you're going to completely abstain from watching television. So there's a difference between fasting and abstaining. Number 3 is don't just pick something just to pick it because it's that time of year again. Pick something that will make you really like step outside of yourself, step outside of your comfort zone. Pick something different that you've never picked before, and make it really have meaning. And maybe offer up what you're giving up, offer it up for somebody else. Number 4 is faith formation. So yes, we should be abstaining or fasting from something, but how are you going to form your faith? How can you renew yourself this Lenten season? I'm going to post below a bunch of different links that might be able to help you. I keep talking about formed because I have found it super beneficial. I am the kind of person, when I see something, I am like every salesperson's dream, because I see something, I'm like, oh, I have to have it. I gotta have this, I gotta have that. And I'm working on it. But formed is free through your church. And so, hi, come here. Come here. Okay. Corey's been wanting to sit with me. Say hi. Oh, you just poked me in the eyeball. Hi. Ask your church if you haven't already, but usually it's free through all church. All you have to do is just set up an account, and there's stuff for the kids, there's stuff for teens, marriage, everything. And so it's really cool.
Hi, Bo.
Corey loves watching Brother Francis and watching all the other videos, right? And we watch during lunch. Yeah? Yeah.
Mom, Dad said I can have a cookie.
I know you did have a cookie.
Yeah, I have a chocolate cookie, and they have a chocolate cookie.
Yeah. Are you going to give up cookies for Lent?
Goo goo gaga.
I am also taking part, thanks to my virtual YouTuber friends, through Pray More novenas. They're doing their own little virtual series as well that I signed up for. Number 5 is works of charity. So we are hitting on, you know, like loving God by fasting and abstaining and diving more into our prayer life, and we're focusing on our faith and stuff. But what about charity? What about, you know, loving others? And what a better time to like step outside of yourself? You know, one thing I noticed that, oh, is that your hair or mine? During Christmas, we all give back and we have the warm and fuzzies, and Christmas is a really easy time to give. You leaving? But Lent is something that's really different. So if we can get the warm and fuzzies during the Lenten season, but then keep it going. Like if you're gonna volunteer somewhere, try and have it be a consistent thing. Maybe not every week, but like we're trying to do something at least once a month, you know, and it's hard, like, because the kids are young, and whatnot, but we're gonna go to St. Vincent de Paul soon and go to the soup kitchen, and the kids are allowed to come. They can't serve the food, but they can, but if it's like in a little Ziploc baggie, because they do like little bagged lunches and bagged dinners and stuff, they can hand it to the people. Look at different things around your area that you can do. All right, top 5 things to focus on. Fasting, abstaining. Don't just pick something to pick it. Find a series that you can deepen your faith and focus on the works of charity. I hope you have a beautiful Lent. I'm gonna keep saying it in all these videos. Have a beautiful Lent, because it's awesome. It is about to storm here. It looks, oh, and side note about this, somebody had asked me like, hey, are you into crystals? No, I'm not into crystals. I just thought it was a cool necklace. So maybe I should be careful of that. Because I have another necklace that has like my parents got it in Alaska, and someone was like, hey, is that like an ancient, like, is that like some sort of like god or something like that? And I was like, ah, no, ooh. So I guess I should be careful like what I wear. But anyway, I just thought it was kind of cool, so. Anyway, okay, have a beautiful day. Stay fit, stay fearless, stay faithful. I love you. God bless you. If I can pray for you in any way, nothing is too big or too small. Have a wonderful day. Take care, everybody. Bye.